Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California at Undercity Comics. Keep Up the Nerds presents annual number 2. My name is Rene.
Nick.
This is Bryan.
And welcome to the show, everyone.
Hey! Welcome back. It's like we never left. Are these mics? Is this level hot?
No.
It is. Or unless this is like super loud.
These are hot, that's why.
Yeah.
No, these are a lot higher than that is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, why is the camera, if you guys are watching on YouTube, obscured differently and Eric here sitting in my seat? Well, it's because we're advertising Whittier ComicFest in this annual issue. Eric, welcome back to the show. This will be your third time?
Yeah, I think my third time with
Is
you
it your
guys.
third time?
Yeah.
Bring the mic just a little bit closer. You can bring the mic closer.
Okay.
Don't be afraid of the mic.
Yeah.
No, just grab it. Just be aggressive with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you
go.
Renee always feels like if he's making out with it, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I can't believe ComicFest is already coming back. Like it feels like we just had it, and now we're already going into the second time. Are you excited? We're a week out.
It's your first time.
I understand that.
That's true. That's true.
I was. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I was asking a question to Eric.
That was 150 subscribers ago. We've got 150.
You need to watch where your hand is because you literally keep doing this in front of the. It's
not getting it. Now it is.
You did that like twice.
If I really extend out. Anyways, go for it.
Anyway, you second year coming up. How has it been getting everything together? I mean, I know you had, you guys started your production company. You started your production company. You got the Comic Fest all set up. You did everything else. You had a smash hit. Coming back second year, was it easier this time? Was it harder? How was it?
I guess I just have a little bit more confidence now.
Okay.
Because I was a little nervous for the first one because I don't know. I get like anxious, like something's bad's gonna happen. No one's gonna show up.
Shoe gonna fall? Yeah.
I'm gonna show up and nothing's gonna be set up. I don't know. I was very anxious for the first one, but it's a lot more smoother now because I have a little bit more confidence going into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that comes with everything, right? The first time is always kind of like your first steps. It's your first steps. It's always the tester of we don't know how this is going to work.
Exactly.
we don't know how this is going to work out. We don't know what the show is going to look like, but we're praying for the best. And you had an amazing show out the first time. The second time, I mean, because you went from how many vendors to how many?
Ooh, I don't know. We're packing the community center completely, and compared to, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head.
I'll put it this way, because I remember the setup that you had last year was you had all corners or all walls filled up with vendors, and then you had an entire middle section filled up as well.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine if that was packed, and you're saying this is packeder.
More packed?
Yeah. Then it's going to be a lot more.
The most packed?
The most packedest.
Most packed.
At the last Comic Fest, I was like, I could fit like way more tables in the venue, but I didn't want. That was one of my things. Was I didn't know exactly. I knew how I was going to set everything up, but there were circumstances when I walked in, like, oh, you can't block the emergency exits, which was like common sense, but it didn't like occur to me when I was planning. So I kind of limited myself in terms of vendors for the last show, because I just didn't want to have too many and not know how to fit everybody together. So when the first Comic Fest was going on, I was walking around and I was like, wait, I could put 2 tables here. I can add 2 extra tables here. So we're really like packing it to the brim.
It's interesting because when you say, oh, it's a 6-foot table, you're like, that's a pretty big table. And then once you actually see it in the place, you're like, oh wait, hold on, I could definitely fit more.
Yeah,
I can fit, because a 6 by what is it, a 6 by 12 or a 6 by 6 by 4?
it's like a standard 6-foot table. I think
Yeah.
it's,
It's a
6 by
picnic
30.
table.
Yeah,
It's like a 6 by 4, 6 by 5, right? Or no, that's way too big. Like a 6 by 3.
6 by 2.
It's a 6 by
It's a
whatever.
6 by 2, Nick.
In all fairness, it's been a very long day.
You know
for
what?
me.
There's a monster right there. Go for it. Just
It's
chug
been
that
a
monster.
very
You're
long
good.
day. I have had I closed my site today. I had like 2 water balloon fights. I am soaking wet.
So we
I
talked
really am.
before we move on with more of the schematics
yeah,
that
you're
are happening with
damp.
Whittier
Really
Comic
damp.
Fest. Let's talk about the date and time of the festival, because I feel like that's the most important part of it. Like, how are people supposed to know when they're going to get there? It's in the Whittier area, Uptown Whittier, in the Whittier Community Center. And then when is it?
June 8th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Perfect. And that time works tremendously. I think we got there last time you and I got there like around 9 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We were there pretty early, and people were already walking in by the time you opened doors.
Oh yeah.
Like immediately, people, it was like getting packed. I think for me, the most interesting part about the whole festival last year was just the amount of people coming in being super enthusiastic about having something in this city. That's something like that. You would think that, oh, because it's the first one, not a lot of people are going to show up in cosplay. A lot of people showed up in cosplay.
Oh yeah, I loved seeing that.
Yeah. You also brought in a wide variety of vendors and guests last year. You had artists, you had collectors, you had people who were voice actors as well. You're going to do the same thing this year with the guest list that we're going to be interviewing, and then just the people that you've been announcing as well. Pretty big names. I know for me, the one that stuck out last year, of course, was Chuck Patton, and then the voice actor who did Gurr, or did he voice act Gurr, or did he animate Gurr?
He was a voice actor.
Voice acted Gurr.
Yeah.
And also, just to interrupt you, that is Emmy
Award-winning Chuck Patton. My
First
bad.
off.
Yes, I am so sorry. I was
Much
the one.
respect to Chuck. I
Yeah.
love Chuck.
it's so funny because when we were at Santa Fe Art Festival, that's just all we kept saying.
Yeah.
We like every single time we would say Chuck's name, we would be like, "I'm sorry, hold on, it's Emmy Award winning." Every single time, and he was like, "You guys don't have to keep on saying it," and I was like, "You want it? We're gonna keep saying it."
You deserve that.
Yeah.
So this was an interesting process because last year you threw it around August.
It was in November.
No, it was in
November. So you're
November.
literally doing this maybe a little over 6 months afterwards,
Yeah.
and this is the second one. What got you to kickstart this event again so much sooner?
I just wanted to keep the momentum going, and that was another thing that was kind of stressful last time was that when I planned, it was on November 18th, the first one, and it like wasn't scheduled to rain at all. And then the week before, it was scheduled to rain randomly on that day, and luckily it didn't rain at all.
Yeah.
But I figured I want to just keep the momentum going, and also schedule it during the summer when I know the weather's going to be okay, because I know rain deters a lot of people from wanting to go out. So that definitely encouraged me to just keep the momentum going and start having it annually in the summertime.
I did
makes
know.
sense.
Yeah, I did notice also because LA Comic Con is like right next to it as well. I think it was also in November last time.
It was like 2 weeks after, I think.
Yeah, it was like I
Yeah.
think it was like 2 weeks after, and just a lot of things to kind of go to and everything else. I like the idea of you have an event inside of in during the summer, and then we can have another event sometime later, and we have other things. I think that's a great idea.
It also makes sense when you think about summer being the events for most video game announcements as well.
True.
That's
So,
true.
yeah, you got RIP E3.
I miss it so much.
Yeah, you got E3,
I
but
loved
now
E3.
have you been?
I went in 2017, and it was the
Oh.
best like convention expo I've ever been
Yeah.
to.
Is
I
that
loved
when
it.
they opened up to the public for the first time?
I think it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went from 2014 all the way to 2017.
Oh dang! How'd you get in?
I used to work for a video game company.
Yeah.
Oh no way!
Yeah, I used to work for a retro video game company. So
I'm so jealous.
So I interned there. The only reason I interned there is because my buddy was already working there, and he needed an intern. And he goes, "Will you be my intern?" And I was like, And he goes, "Your first day is at E3.
Oh,
You can."
That
be
was
sold.
That
I would have been
Alright.
sold.
He goes, "Your first day is at E3, and your
And
only job."
early 20s Nick was
Yeah,
just like, heck
dude,
yeah.
Dude, I think I was 20 when I did it, because I was still working with you when I did that, and then sure enough, I came and he goes,
Yeah, as soon as he was told,
as soon as I got there, I was like, okay, no, but as soon as I got there, I went. So what do I have to do at E3? Like, do I have to work a booth? I did have to clean myself up. No, but because I asked him, I go, what do I have to do for the thing? And he goes, oh, your entire internship is you have to go to every booth and take notes. Like, you literally have to experience everything.
Attend the con.
Yeah. Your entire job is to attend the con. But also, the greatest thing about it was only people who were in the business. So lines were maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
So it was so nice. It was just really nice. You could really enjoy the con. Everything else. The year you went, where it was just a lot of people.
Oh man.
Oh my God, you couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You did like 3 things, and then it was like, oh, that took me 7 hours.
So let's bring it back to Whittier Comic Fest.
Yeah.
You going to that, did it bring out any kind of like influences in you throwing this festival at all, or any kind of like things that maybe you grabbed from that and said, you know what, this is what I want to apply to my festival?
From like E3?
From E3 or anything else you've attended?
Yeah, I always get really motivated whenever I go to like LA Comic-Con, WonderCon, because as outlandish as this might seem, it's my dream is to one day have a convention of that size. And you know, hopefully one day be as big of a promoter like my father was. So that's really been a motivation for me. So every time like I go to WonderCon or I go to LA Comic-Con, even though they're like a million times bigger than the Whittier Comic Fest, it always inspires me, and I always try to grab pieces from it to try to implement into.
You know what's really interesting though is because I remember LA Comic-Con when it was Kamikaze.
Really?
When it was Stan Lee's Kamikaze.
Yeah.
And I remember the first year they did it, and even though it was at the convention center, it was only half. It wasn't as big as it is now. It was only half of the room of the main hall, and then there was like this big open space, and that was where Stan Lee was. And like Stan Lee would walk through like the hall and everything else, and it wasn't very big. Well, and you were wasting a lot of the space, especially for, you know, LA, the LA Convention Center. Anybody that's been there, that's in LA, that's been to E3, Comic-Con, any of those things, even like Muscle Fest, whatever.
That was around the time that New York Comic-Con and San Diego Comic-Con were the big two. I think Chicago had one as well.
But the thing is that it was the first like Comic-Con that wasn't attached to the actual Comic-Con like logo or name. That's why they couldn't call it LA Comic-Con, because they didn't own the rights to it. So that's when they used Stan Lee, because Stan Lee was the head promoter. He was the big name that was attached. So then they went Kamikaze.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, because I don't think you were on the episode where we talked about LA Comic-Con and Whittier Comic Fest, where we kind of compared both of them, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you were on there, but we ended up saying that Whittier Comic Fest had an interesting atmosphere, because what we miss most about conventions was the intimacy that guests would be getting from going to the convention. Yeah, not like that, dude. Not but like, you know,
we about to get intimate.
Going to like a convention of that size, like, you know, Whittier Comic Fest, if you go check out a booth, you're able to talk to the artist or the vendor, and you're able to kind of have that connection there. Absolutely. I mean, that's how we met Chuck. Literally, it was a 20-minute conversation between me and him.
He's
and
awesome.
He's great, and we talked, and there was really, he still took care of business. Anyone that approached him to buy something, he would take care of that. But like, it was, you know, it was very intimate. You go to LA Comic-Con, I mean, it's great. There's a lot of things to buy. There's a lot of things to check out, but it's so busy, so full. And so when you're walking around, even Artist Alley, which is a place that we like to go, you can't talk to an artist a lot, because if it's a great place, like a great setup, they're probably selling stuff and not being able to talk to you.
A lot of the times they just give you a card and go, hit me up later.
Exactly.
It's a lot of card passing and going like, hit me up later, I'm down to talk and everything else.
So I will say the way that you're throwing Whittier Comic Fest is great.
I appreciate it.
You're getting big names, you're getting interesting names, and then you're making the event like not small, but you're making it communal. And I feel like you're bringing that atmosphere that, you know, big cities like Los Angeles and New York are getting it and bringing it over to a tiny town like Whittier. I mean, it's not as tiny now as it used to be, but you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's Whittier. Like, who knows about Whittier besides it being a place where people shoot movies and stuff. But
Yeah,
what?
in case you guys don't know, that movies get shot here a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah.
So
Like-
anything that you want to highlight from Whittier Comic Fest that maybe you want to throw out there to the people and be like, hey, this is something that you definitely want to come check out if you guys are in the area.
Yeah, so it's free admission. So
Most
even
important thing.
if you're just like skeptical, like, oh, I don't know if I'm interested in even going, you don't have to spend $1 to even go. You could just walk in, check it out, and it costs you nothing.
Yeah.
Also,
Sorry, how much does it cost?
$0 to attend.
That's 0.
Yeah.
The big old circle number. Not 1, not 2,
exactly.
but 0.
and
It's free 99.
Free.
Well,
Free 99.
I hate both of you.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I am aiming to scale it to something a lot larger because that's been a big demand from a lot of people that attended the first one was that they want to see it scaled to something a lot larger.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to be feasible to offer free admission once it's scaled. So
Makes sense.
I would encourage anyone who's listening to just check it out. Stop by when it's free. And also a huge name was just announced today, David Mack.
Yeah.
I would love to highlight him. That was huge to land him. He's the creator of Echo, who just had a series released on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Created
That character blew
Kabuki.
up. Yeah.
The
Worked
original creator of Echo?
Yeah.
Like the character Echo?
Yes.
Okay.
on. Yeah. He's I think he's the co-creator. It was him and I forget the other creator, but I'm blanking on the name. But and he also worked on Daredevil, the comics, Daredevil, Jessica Jones. He's worked on so much, and
The Defenders, really, like all those like Defender characters. he's worked on.
And a name like that, usually if you go to a convention like LA Comic Con, you have to like be on top of that and either go to their panels, like, know about it hours before, or even buy a ticket. Here, you're talking about how much to get in? Free.
Zero. Free.
Free 99.
Free
Well,
99.
not, only,
99.
not only that, but also there's a lot of because LA. That was the one thing I don't like about LA Comic Con now is the fact of all their big names are hidden behind a wall.
Yeah.
There's now a
Yeah, that's
huge
true.
paywall, and
That's true.
because before what it used to be is their booths used to be in the hall, and then you could see them. You can like hey, what's up? You can go out there and like wave, say hi, do whatever. But now any of the big names like Elijah Wood or whoever it may be Matt Smith, like they get these big names and then they go, okay, cool. So you're gonna go to the back of the con in a different area. You have to pay to even like spend time with these people.
You want to breathe their same air?
Yeah. And then it's
$5.
it's a quick, hi, nice to see you. Take a photo, now get out. And it's not a memorable moment.
Yeah.
It's nothing that
It's very rushed too.
because
next.
they've got 100 people outside.
Yeah.
It's like, say whatever you're gonna say and let's go. And here, I know you said it was very intimate and everything else, but I think it's gonna be really awesome because you can really spend some time with some of these creators and really not only kind of like see their work and everything else, but also maybe ask them a question or two. Actually get that time with a creator that you normally wouldn't get.
And Larry Houston's going to be there as well, who was the animation director on the original X-Men, the animated series in the 90s, and that's huge right now. It blew up with the reboot and everything. So having him there is going to be it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
You also are going to have Joe Rubenstein.
Yes, Joe Rubenstein.
He was the colorist or the ink?
He was the
inker.
He inked the first appearance of Gambit.
Yes.
On the Infinity Gauntlet #1, the Wolverine Limited series with Frank Miller. He inked and worked with Frank on the cover. Everything. He's a legend, and he's going to be there as well.
So it's always interesting to see these names pop up, right? And again, you have a wide variety of people coming to Whittier Comic Fest. What makes this interesting and why it's such an intimate setting, why that's a good thing, is because if people want to get in this business, you have these people that have been in the business and are willing to share their experiences when asked. I'll bring up Chuck because Chuck is, when we talked about animation, he was very keen on giving people advice on how animation like works, how he was able to tell his stories by producing, the content that was put out there with like Ninja Turtles, for example. I didn't know this. He was talking to me about how he animated the Ninja Turtles. One of the sequences he liked doing was because he wanted to be more ninja-like, he would have one of the turtles fight and then duck, and then the next turtle would come up. Yeah. That was something that really got him to kind of showcase the ninja techniques. So if anyone wants to be an inker, There's Joe Rubenstein. Anyone wants to see how they created, a new character like Echo, you go talk to, what's his name again?
David Mack.
David Mack.
When you and that's the cool part too. When you get to actually talk to some of these creators, you can actually get to see where their point of view was, where some of the characteristics of their characters come from.
Yeah.
Because you get to talk to them and you realize, oh, that's them.
Yeah.
Like it's just like talking to them is the best part. Because speaking of Chuck, when I was talking to him, he goes, because I go, hey Chuck, what got you into anime? Like, what got you into like cartoons and everything else? And he goes, I needed to pay a bill. I was like, it wasn't like he goes, no, that was paying me more than this. So I went, I'm gonna go do that. And I thought it was so funny.
But they're real answers.
And it was such a frank answer. And I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
But it's a real answer.
It is a very real answer, but not only that, but also you can kind of see because of that comedy, when you go see scenes in Spawn or scenes inside of Ninja Turtles, you're like, oh, that same comedy is kind of still in there, and it's getting reflected back.
Yeah. Even the small creators and vendors that you bring in have their own personal stories, their own interests, and their own inspirations when it comes to the things that they do. I'm going to shout him out. Junior right here with the Cuphead sticker that he sold me at Santa Fe Springs. He's like, I mean, yes, this is a property that already exists, but there's a different shade to it. And he's able to tell you why he got into tattooing, what is his inspirations and likes, and certain pop culture stuff that's already out there. So you're able to talk to these people and not just buy their product. And it's a good thing that you're doing that with Whittier ComicFest. Besides the names that you mentioned before, anything else in particular that you want to highlight before we move on to the next topic with Whittier ComicFest?
I mean, you guys are going to be sponsors.
Yeah,
that's
man.
A huge deal.
That is actually
When
a
did
pretty
this
big
happen?
thing.
When did this?
We made a whole video. You edited it together.
What are you talking about?
No, but we're going to be doing a live show. We also have 5 slots for interviews of vendors that are going to be at the actual con. I'm super excited because this is a newer thing that we've been doing this year of like live shows. And the first one that we did, we were all kind of like, oh,
sorry,
I don't know how this is going to work out, and I'm loving that we're.
What do you mean you don't know how this is going to work out? It's either going to be great or a train wreck.
It's gonna be great.
It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking about when we first did it. It was the same idea.
Oh, that was the same thing. I was leaning towards train wreck.
Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna blow up.
You know what? I'm gonna flip heads or tails. I wonder what's gonna land. Side? I don't know.
Hell.
You know what? It landed right in the middle. Just as a middle finger.
No, so you, like Nick said, we're gonna be doing a live show that we're scheduling. We're gonna be putting out an official schedule soon on the live show.
To be determined.
But by this point in time, you've already released the slate of interviews that we're gonna have, right?
Yeah.
So, because that one should have been out Tuesday, maybe.
Should be out by Tuesday.
Should be out by Tuesday. And if it's not,
It's probably out today.
It's probably out today. And if it's not out today,
I don't know what happened.
then it was all Sean's fault.
And this is where the train wreck happens.
Yeah.
You know what? I do like that. We can stop blaming Bryan's for stuff. We just start blaming Sean for things. We just start blaming Sean for
That's
that.
why he's not here.
Yeah, it's Sean's
Can't
fault.
take it. He's the new bully. Yes. Anyways,
He's the new punching bag.
Dude, I'm graduated.
He
Thank
already-
God.
He's so happy. Brian's so happy.
He's got a bad
It's
back.
scary.
Leave the man
Yeah.
alone. He's an old man.
So the names
just
that
expose
we
him like
can
that.
confirm as of right now is Ray Anthony Height, who is
He's a published comic book artist
perfect,
and creator.
Madison Brunailer.
She's the voice of Happy Frog in Five Nights at Freddy's, voice of Archer in Clash of Clans.
I told my girlfriend about that. She's like, "Oh, that's really cool," because she's a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan.
Voice
I'll tell
of
you-
Michelle in Farlight 84.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Michelle in Farlight 84.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Stephen E. Gordon.
He was the animation director on X-Men Evolutions. So
Excited for that.
that's also something I wanted to point out too, is we're not only having Larry Houston, who was the animation director for the original X-Men, the animated series in the 90s, but we also have Stephen Gordon, who was the animation director for X-Men Evolutions in the 2000s.
It's so funny too because recently I went back to go rewatch X-Men Evolutions. It's really good.
Oh yeah.
Like
The
it holds up.
song slaps.
Dude,
My only complaint with X-Men Evolutions is that Nightcrawler is a little too timid.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't imagine Nightcrawler having as cool of a line. I don't think Kirk would have as cool of a line as only God can judge.
Yeah.
So let me
version of
arrange
Kurt,
it. Yeah. So let me arrange the meeting. I don't think that Kurt would have that
Only the
meeting.
principal would
But Spike was a cool character.
Yeah, the Spike was a dope character.
Oh, Spike, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Spike
right.
is a cool character.
Spike,
Yeah.
dope.
Mystique was cool in that one too.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're
Rogue
sidetracking.
was still
Sidetrack.
hot. Rogue was still hot.
That's just Rogue.
Yeah.
It's just Rogue.
That's just Rogue.
I was more of a Kitty Pryde person.
You would.
Yeah,
You
I'm
didn't
sorry.
like
is
the
that-
goth girls, man.
I couldn't do it in high school, dude. For me, it was Kitty. I'm sorry. Anyways, and Rafael Navarro, who we know him as the panelist for Mucha Lucha. He did that, and he's currently working on some other works as well. Did he tell you what he's working on? I completely forgot. It's some like noir luchador comic.
He has a it's a luchador who is a private eye.
Yes.
It's a sonambulo.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be interviewing those four, plus one which will be announced in the advertisement you're going to put up.
Yeah.
That should have been up,
We have
or is up,
there's an open slot.
or will be up. It's one of those options.
Yeah.
But those are going to
Did you guys
be.
get that?
I
didn't. Yeah.
It's going to be up there. But we're going to be interviewing those people.
What a blind explanation right there.
We're going to be interviewing the guests beginning at 1 p.m. until closing-ish.
Yeah, I
Of
think
the
around
festival.
like 4:15, 4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
we're
is
gonna-
great. So if you guys are around the area around that time and you guys want to check them out and hear their interviews live, you guys have the opportunity. It is important, and I'm going to stress this, important that you guys follow both accounts, both ours on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Keeping Up with the Nerds, and then Whittier Comic Fest on Instagram, because that is where all the news is going to be up there. Eric's been doing a fantastic job of announcing the guests with good templates and showing you all the information about when it's happening and the guests that are being announced, so you guys all know ahead of time who's going to be at the festival.
Not only that, but also come by the booth. Come meet us. You know.
Except Nick, because he'll probably be gone.
You know what?
Wear the blonde
I was probably
wig,
gonna go
dude.
grab a monster.
Dude,
I'm gonna be so hurt if you don't.
No,
I'm gonna be so hurt.
It's gonna be so
Damn.
funny because I did think about wearing the blonde wig and just
At Santa
walking
Fe.
and just like putting it on and then walking around.
Yeah.
And then that way everybody goes like, "Where'd Nick go? Oh, he didn't show up."
So
today."
here's the thing, and this is a funny little side story.
But really quick, come visit the booth. We're
Yeah.
gonna be giving out free stickers for it, and then also we're gonna be giving out what was it? Whittier Comic Fest cookies. So we're actually gonna have a cookie. We're gonna be having cookies with Whittier Comic Fest logo on it, and then we're also gonna be doing one with Keeping Up with the Nerds and
Nice.
everything else.
In order to
So-
get it, you spin the wheel of death.
Yes, you gotta
go
have-
ahead and
yeah.
take a bite out of us.
But I'm looking forward to that. It's
Are we
gonna
doing
be
the wheel?
We are gonna do the wheel.
Is
I
there
already-
an option for instant death? Just put it
Yeah.
on there tiny, like the $1 million.
You know what, Brian? Just
I'm
for
not
you.
even
You're gonna scare the
like
kids.
that.
Give all your V-Bucks.
I'm just gonna turn it to the instant death and just drop. They're like, what happened? He died. How? Instant. It's like,
Oh, like the Rick and Morty one.
Rick and Morty.
There's
a
nothing
slot.
there. It's just black.
It's just black.
Instead of that, we
There's
just
no afterlife.
instead of that, we just make the slot that says "empty your pockets."
Yeah.
And so, like,
Just put them upside down.
give me all your money, punk.
No, but I'm excited. We're gonna have a wheel. We're gonna have everything else. It's gonna be super sick.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Come on through. We're all gonna be at the booth. Yeah, man.
No, it's gonna
Even
be
Sean.
fun.
Even
Meet
Sean.
Sean.
And you can
yeah.
actually meet Sean now.
Yeah.
I haven't met him yet.
You haven't met Sean. Yeah, you'll meet him at the show.
What is it? So what? Next year when you're going to be back on the show to advertise Whittier Comic Fest 3, it's like, yeah, we have a new member too. You'll meet them sometime.
Eventually.
They actually left.
Yeah, it's an eventual.
Who's talking about a new member? 4's already good. We don't
Yeah,
I know it's 4, but
we already have
first
too
it was
many.
Nick.
We don't need a
That's
fifth.
Sean.
Yeah.
Listen, we already have too many.
It's one too many.
Battle Royale is already established. But I'm excited for the actual show. I'm excited for just everything to kind of get. I'm gonna spend so much money. That's a problem.
I know, I gotta check.
Is there anyone selling
So-
Gundams?
I have
Probably.
to check. I'd have
I
to
don't know.
check.
No, that's
It's
not even.
mostly like vintage collectibles.
That's also a problem
comics.
with me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Any Star Wars stuff?
No,
there should be a
There he is.
good
I
amount
mean,
of Star Wars.
it was so.
It
It
killed
was
me with all the stickers. I bought a bunch of stickers that day.
Oh yeah.
Blinkies is gonna return.
Oh,
They'll be there
really?
again. Yeah.
Wait, who?
They're the Blinkies. They were the vendor that selling stickers at the last one.
Mhm.
We'll be there again.
Yeah,
Cool.
I especially seeing as you have a huge, what I guess we would call an artist alley with all the vendors that you have. Yeah, I usually spend far too much at a con in those like artist areas where it's like, oh yeah, look at my art, and it's like I would like that, and that one.
So if you guys are coming to the festival to meet one of us, just bear in mind Nick won't be at the booth.
I will be
Unless
shopping.
he's
Spending
obligated.
money.
to
Walking
be.
around.
Shopping.
Here's the thing. So Nick had a running joke for the longest time that no one was going to meet him.
Never.
No one. And then the first person that wanted to meet us at Santa Fe went straight to Nick. I was nowhere to be found. I was actually missing. I
In
was-
all fairness, he went to Rene.
And I told Nick, I was like, Nick, come here. He was my son because Nick was closest to us. So I was like, Nick, come on, come here.
You should have been like, no.
I just run.
You know what was funny? I thought about it.
like T1000.
I did think about just doing the T1000 run and running away, but no, I couldn't. He was too nice.
We got to wrap up this show. It is a short annual, specifically only
Yes.
talking about Whittier Comic Fest. Eric, is there anything else you want to highlight before we wrap it up?
I just wanted to apologize to a lot of the vendors that applied. The community
I
center.
was like, wait, why are you apologizing?
No.
So,
It's all a lie.
it's not free, guys.
No, I just wanted to a quick apology
Yeah.
because I mean when I went ahead and announced that put the link up to apply,
Yeah.
Right.
I was just overwhelmed with applications.
Yeah.
And for the first one, it would applications would slowly trickle in, and then for this one, it was just a flood of applications, and like it motivates me to scale it to something larger because
Yeah.
I hate waitlisting vendors. I hate having to say sorry, we don't have the capacity to have you there.
It's a good it is a good problem to have.
Yeah, but I just wanted them to know I worked on it on a first come first served basis.
Yeah.
So if people didn't pay their invoice by a certain date, I went ahead and moved on to the next one and then the next one. And then, there were a good chunk that I unfortunately couldn't get to because sold out.
Yeah.
So I just want to apologize, and I just want to let anyone that's listening know that we're going to keep scaling this thing as large as we could scale it to.
Absolutely.
So I really want to get to the point where we're not waitlisting anybody.
Yeah.
We could welcome every single creator and vendor that wants to apply and be at the show.
Hear that, Whittier?
So
He needs a bigger spot.
do me a favor.
Make it happen.
Look at this. Look straight into the camera.
I am.
Rene, I need you to stare them down, okay? This is for every Whittierian, whatever you want to call it. This
Okay, I'm not
Whittier.
good.
No, look at
Yeah, you said Whittier
Okay, fine.
Orient.
This is for everyone that wants to attend Whittier Comic Fest. Look at the
Okay,
camera, right?
sounds better.
Look at. Okay, so if everyone is interested in attending the festival, you guys better show up. And the reason why is just like Eric said, he wants to scale this bigger. So what needs to happen is you guys need to stop listening to the show. All right,
No, you don't.
get your
Stop.
butts
Don't-
over
don't listen to
to
him.
Whittier Comic Fest
listening.
on
First,
Saturday,
like this
June
video.
8th. Yes,
And
on
then
June
stop
8th
listening.
at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and attend the festival. Once you've attended the festival, guess what? Follow them on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Talk about how great the festival is. Make as much noise as possible. Take photos with everyone. Take video of everything you're checking out. Why? Because the more noise you make, the more people are going to be aware of this
Very
thing
true,
happening. And then guess what? The city of Whittier can't ignore this. They're going to have to say, you know what, guys? Let's make this 2 times as big. 3 times, 4 times, 5. What? You guys want the whole city? Let's give it to them.
You know
It's
what?
gonna
That
happen.
that is the weird thing, though. I don't know where you would put this.
Everywhere.
Like, as as
yeah.
being a person in Whittier,
Yeah.
where if like you wanted to go bigger than the community center, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Like
We make Disneyland happen in Uptown
what do-
Whittier.
Like where do you go? Whittier College?
Yeah,
Like
no, we take all. Eric's gonna take care of all of Uptown Whittier. It becomes Whittier Comic Fest.
Oh, like kind of like what is it? They have
No, not the
those-
night market.
Night
No.
market?
No.
That's what I thought you were.
No. We're taking it all over. That's what's gonna happen.
Again,
I
this
like
has
that
been
mindset.
another Bryan explanation.
I don't know.
Do we know what it means? Never.
Nope. But was it gonna happen?
No.
Yes.
No.
No, but in 100% seriousness, I feel like people do need to show up and make a lot of noise about this festival.
Yes, please
and people
do.
have been making noise the
Oh,
last
yeah.
time that you did it. So it's really good. You did say you want to scale it up.
Yeah.
It's great. Let's make it happen. Guys,
If you're a cosplayer, come through, man.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely, yeah.
In like really show it off.
yeah.
Was there ever a thought of like doing a cosplay contest? Like
I would love to do one.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do one. Hopefully, when we scale it, I'd love to have like a little stage where we could do contests like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're listening and you're a cosplayer, like don't be shy. Like show up in your cosplay.
Yeah.
Just embrace the atmosphere and what we have in store for you guys.
Yeah, and if you're a
Exactly.
photographer, come on through because there's gonna be people in cosplay. Come on through, take some photos.
You got an
Have a good time.
excuse? No excuses. Throw it out. Coming to Whittier Comic Fest,
Thank you, guys.
June 8th, 11 to 5. Let's wrap up the show
Yes.
because we got a movie to attend to.
We might have another showing. I don't know.
Eric,
It started
thank you
5 minutes ago.
so much. No, we got
you,
it's
guys.
30 minutes of AMC
You say
commercials.
that.
No, Eric, thank you so much for joining us here on the show, talking about Whittier Comic Fest. Anytime you want to talk about it, like we've said before, we're happy to
I
promote it.
appreciate you guys.
Definitely, maybe as soon as the festival's over, maybe do a small interview and
Yeah.
talk about how it all went
Yeah.
the second time around, and we'll let you know as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Because yeah, it is interesting and it is good to see someone. Because you're Whittier local, right?
You're born and raised.
Born and
There
raised
you
in
go.
Whittier. It's good to
Yeah.
see local people
Whittierian.
making.
Born and bred.
It sounds terrible, right?
I was
Sounds
trying to think
terrible.
of like Mandalorian.
Nope,
It didn't
nope,
work.
nope.
Not working.
Not,
Whittier
not a thing.
Lorian.
Whittier Lorian.
I don't
Whittier-Lorian?
stop. Just
Wittonian.
Just do the
A
thing.
Wittonian.
Okay.
Do this. Do this. Make
Guys,
it
thanks so
stop.
much for joining us. Sign
you.
off, Rene.
Make it
Thank you,
stop.
Eric.
Where they can find us, Brian?
Oh, Facebook, Instagram,
X.
X.com, Podbean,
X for X-Men.
Spotify,
Remember?
Apple Podcasts, and follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/keeping up with the nerds. Renee, sign us off.
This has been Keep Up with the Nerds, annual number 2. My name is Rene.
Nick.
This is Brian.
This is Eric.
Sign out from Undersea Comics. We'll see you all next time.
Bye. See you at Whittier Comic Fest.
Woohoo.